Welcome to Speak English Now podcast with your host, Georgiana, the podcast that will help you to speak English fluently with no grammar and no textbooks.
Hi everyone, I'm Georgiana, founder of SpeakEnglishPodcast.com. My mission is to help you to speak English fluently and confidently. In today's episode, you'll learn some useful airport English vocabulary. Later, you'll practice your English speaking with a funny mini story. Awesome! Let's get started. So, you want to travel by plane, right? It's just natural to be a little worried because sometimes there are things that can prevent us from getting on time. I almost missed the plane in several occasions, and after that I became more responsible. Nowadays I can say that I plan my plane trip more efficiently. The night before the trip, I make sure that the flight is confirmed because it can get delayed or even cancelled due to bad weather. I book my flights online. I book a one-way ticket when I don't want to return to my destination right away. However, I usually book a round-trip ticket, which includes a return ticket too. And I'm not in a habit of checking in my luggage when I travel. Airlines usually allow us to check up to 2 suitcases. Nonetheless, I like traveling only with my carry-on luggage and a small backpack where I keep my passport, the ID, and boarding pass. Since I don't check the luggage when I travel, I'm allowed to check in online. So when I arrive at the airport, I already have my boarding card printed out. Like I told you, there are always unexpected things that can happen, so I prefer to be on time. I usually arrive 2 hours early at the airport, and from there I start my adventure to the boarding gate. When we have to catch a plane, timing is everything, but for some reason, some of us tend to arrive later than planned. One time, I arrived at the airport 5 hours early. Naturally, I figured I had all the time in the world, so I walked slowly towards the gate. From time to time, I stopped to buy some souvenirs when all of a sudden I realized I was way too late. In fact, that time I had to run fast so I wouldn't miss the plane. You must have guessed by now that airports make me feel uneasy. There are several terminals which are sometimes located miles away from each other. Besides, arrivals and departures are usually situated on different floors. Another downside, particularly in large airports, is that you'll run into many distractions. There are some of the best fashion brands, delicious food and drinks, and even a place where they provide foot and back massages. On one occasion, after walking around the airport, I saw a place where they were doing foot massages. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to stop because I was again running late, but I must admit I was very tempted. And what about going through security? Everything moves so fast. You have to take off your belt and shoes, your jacket. You need to check your pockets to see if you left any coins or keys. You should make sure that the liquids are placed in a separate plastic bag. And yes, the laptop. You'll have to take your laptop out of the luggage. And after all this fuss, it's time to board. So start looking for your boarding gate. You usually know the number of the gate because it's on your boarding pass, but make sure you double-check this information on the departure boards. One time, I was happily waiting in front of my gate when I suddenly realized that my gate had changed, and I almost missed my flight that time because the new gate was some miles away from where I was. But wait, the fun's not over yet. After the plane has landed, there are some extra steps that you need to take. If you've checked your luggage, you'll have to pick it up from the baggage claim. Before you're allowed to enter another country, you must go through customs. Here, they'll check if you're carrying anything illegal, such as firearms, drugs, or too much money. they'll ask you if you have anything to declare. And if you're not carrying anything that's forbidden, you'll need to answer no. Let's see some vocabulary. To board a plane means to go onto it. A boarding pass shows where the plane will be boarding and your seat number. Carry-on luggage. The carry-on luggage is the small piece of hand luggage that you're allowed to take with you onto the plane. Check-in. When you check in, you notify the airline that you arrived at the airport. They will take your suitcase and hand you a boarding pass. Conveyor belt or carousel or baggage claim. It's where you pick up your bag after you arrived at your destination. Customs. Before entering another country, you'll need to go through customs. They just want to make sure you're not carrying anything illegal, such as firearms, drugs, or too much money. Departures, gate, and arrivals. When you arrive at your destination, your friends will meet you at the arrivals lounge. One-way ticket. When you don't want to return to your destination, you buy a one-way ticket. Return ticket. A return ticket is the opposite of a one-way ticket. And a round-trip ticket is when you purchase the one-way ticket and the return ticket together. Let's move on to the next section. I've created a mini story so that you can practice your speaking. Let's see how the mini story works. I'll start by giving you some information, a phrase or two, and then I'll ask simple questions. After each question, there will be some seconds of silence. Now it's your turn to answer the question. Just try to give an easy and a short answer, not a complex one. And after you answer, I'll give you a correct answer. This process will continue, and I'll gradually tell you a story with questions and answers. Let's get started. Anne wanted to fly to Oakland, so she booked a last-minute flight. Did Anne want to fly or to swim? She wanted to fly, not to swim. In fact, she didn't even know how to swim. Did she book a flight to Alaska? No, not to Alaska. She booked a flight to Oakland. Did she book a flight a month in advance? No, she didn't book the flight a month in advance. In fact, it was a last-minute flight. Where did she want to fly to? To Auckland or Poland? Not Poland. That's not what I said earlier. What I said is that she wanted to fly to Auckland. Anne got at the airport 20 minutes just before boarding. Did she arrive or leave the airport? She didn't leave the airport. It was the other way around. She arrived at the airport. Did Anne get at the airport or at the train station? She didn't get at the train station. Anne got at the airport. She got at the airport 1 hour early, right? No, she didn't get 1 hour early. She got at the airport 20 minutes just before boarding. Who arrived at the airport 20 minutes before boarding? Her twin sister? Not her twin sister. Anne was the one who arrived 20 minutes just before boarding. Anne got stressed out at the security checkpoint and she dropped the keys she had in her pocket. Did Anne get stressed out or relaxed? Anne didn't get relaxed. Actually, she got stressed out. Did she get stressed out in the plane? No, she got stressed out at the security checkpoint. Did she drop her cell phone at the security checkpoint? Oh no, she didn't drop her cell phone. That would have been awful. She only dropped her keys. Were the keys in her pocket before she dropped them or after? Not after she dropped them. Before she dropped them. The keys were in her pocket before she dropped them. After desperately trying to locate the boarding gate, she finally found it and quickly got on board the plane. Was she desperate or calm? She wasn't calm at all. She was actually desperate. What was she trying to locate? Her boarding pass? No, not her boarding pass. She was trying to locate her boarding gate. Did she finally miss the boarding gate? No, on the contrary, she didn't miss the boarding gate. Instead, she finally found it. Did she get on board the plane slowly? Not slowly, but quickly. She got on board the plane quickly. Anne was so exhausted that she slept through the whole flight. Was Anne excited or exhausted? She wasn't excited. She was exhausted. Did she read a book during her flight? No, she didn't read a book. She was too exhausted to read anything. Why did she sleep through the whole flight? Was she filled with energy? She wasn't filled with energy. In fact, she was exhausted. That's why she slept through the whole flight. When she arrived at her destination, she got worried because no one was waiting for her. Did she get worried when she arrived? Yes, she got worried when she arrived. When did she get worried? Before or after she arrived at her destination? After she arrived at her destination, not before getting there. Who wasn't waiting for her? Her dog? Nobody. Nobody was waiting for her, not even her dog. It turns out that she landed in Auckland, New Zealand, instead of Oakland, California. Did she land in Oakland, California? No, she didn't land in Oakland. She landed somewhere else. Where did she want to land? She wanted to land in Oakland, California. So, where did she finally land? In another country? Not in another country. She landed on a different continent. She was in Auckland, New Zealand. Funny that there are two cities with such similar names but still so far away from one another. Poor Anne must have been in a hurry to book a flight to Australia instead of California, USA. Great! It's the end of this short story. I sincerely hope you enjoyed it. Can you see how many questions you can answer? It's like talking to another person in English. And now imagine a whole story told like this. It's incredible how much you can learn by using this technique. Find out more about this method. Take action now and sign up for my free mini course. Go to method.speakenglishpodcast.com and speak English fluently once and for all. I'll be back with a new episode next week. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Did you enjoy today's episode? Get the transcript now at speakenglishpodcast.com. speakenglishpodcast.com.